Oke, greetings nih, sorry. Maskermu dibuka di buat sini. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Rizwan.
Ibu belum dibuka suaranya.
Kan kedengaran ya. We cannot hear your voice. Halo. Ada suaranya?
Oh iya.
Good morning, Mr. Rizwan. Halo. Assalamualaikum. Nggak dengar suaranya.
Ada dengar suara?
Oh iya,
Ya.
baru
Okey,
dengar.
Alhamdulillah.
Selamat
Syukur.
pagi.
Ya, selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi. Congratulations for your new baby.
Yeah, thank you very much. Baby girl.
I just just from the Facebook, you just get a new baby.
Yeah, yesterday night. Yesterday even. Almost night. My fourth child.
The fifth or children? The fifth or
I have now 2 boys and 2 girls. Yesterday is a baby girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we cannot use your time very much.
It's okay. It's okay.
Today.
Yeah. It's okay. I got time today. Yeah.
I will inform to our international office staff first. There are 2 staff that still not joined yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Can you call Mr. Suri?
I have called them.
Actually, our faculty have about 13 lecturer that has been studying at UITM.
Oh, okay. All right.
3 of them have already second semester, and the other will start on October. We hope so.
I see. Is it under Accounting Research Institute, ARI, in UiTM Shah Alam?
ARI.
Yeah.
They are still waiting about the apa ya? Visa itu apa namanya?
Visa.
Yeah, visa. They are still waiting the visa.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully they can join start on October.
Yeah, inshallah. ARI is actually a very good something like organization because it's really involved in deep study of Islamic financial criminology, and it has created a lot of success in terms of awards, and there's a lot of professors there that really good in the research in Islamic banking, Islamic finance team, something like that. So I really hope that your lecturer can gain a lot of knowledge from the expertise there.
It's not under the economic faculty, yeah.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's like it is like a special institute. Despite it is accountancy, but because it has been recognized as institute, our university actually provide special budget to this institute in terms of doing research and so on. So they have allocation every year for research purpose. It's Center of High Excellence, something like that. Yeah.
We expect to have some kind of institution like ARI or UITM that have received many international students from across the world.
Oh, okay. Basically, as you see, UiTM, we are the largest university in Malaysia, and we have so many branches across the state. Yeah. So those foreign students, they are actually study in our main campus in Shah Alam. So those in state like me from Malacca, it's hard for us to have our own international student. But we still open for international students to further study under any of the doctorate from any state actually.
That's why we expect our faculty expect to have some kind of institution like the UITM.
You can actually learn because actually this, there are few stages for us to become research center excellence. Like in my campus, we begin with EK, entity kecemerlangan. It's a group of it's actually all our form a group of entity kecemerlangan, a small group of research where we have the KPI of Scopus Index publication, and then we have to try to find a research grant from any country or even within the country. So like in my case, I have my own entity kecemerlangan group with my research partner, and I received 100 million rupiah from BINUS Universitas because we make MOA with BINUS in terms of matching grant. So not only BINUS, we also do a lot of matching grant with other universitas like IP Universitas. I'm not sure. IPU. I'm not sure the name of the. Yeah. So like our campus, we contribute 5,000 ringgit. And the Indonesian university will contribute another 5,000 ringgit in rupiah, and we exchange the money. So we have like short-term grant, like 6 months, with 3 Scopus Index publication. So we have 2.
Yeah, I already read about the proposal about matching grant, but unfortunately, I missed the time at the time because. We are busy with the new curriculum, so I missed the opportunity to get the matching grant from your university and my university. Actually, our faculty is ready, but I don't know about your faculty about the matching grant because the time is over last May.
Maybe this matching grant actually will be continuous, but maybe will be back next year. Earlier next year. And actually we are open to all universities from all over the countries for this matching grant. And because there's something to do with MOA, MOU, KPI for the ranking of the university, that's why there's a need to exchange the money. Despite the money is the same, but there's a record of exchanging, because then we can make it as our achievement in KPI for ranking university. Yeah.
We hope that we can collaboration in the next year.
Yeah, inshallah. Yeah, I will propose it to my boss, Prof. Dr. Shafina, our rector for research and innovation. She's the one that actually heavily proposed this kind of scheme to all the lecturers in UiTM Melaka.
I already get the number from you, but as I said that we missed the opportunity because in the first semester we focus on the other activity about the new curriculum from our new ministry about Campus Merdeka. That's why we missed about the new curriculum.
I see.
Okay, I think our staff already joined this Zoom meeting. Please, Mrs. Suri, to start the schedule.
Well, I'm going to start the meeting. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The Honorable Dean of Faculty of Economics and Business, University of Lampung, Dr. Nairobi. The Honorable Dr. Abdul Rahim Rizwan, as the visiting professor in our faculty from University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Morning.
The Honorable Vice Dean of Academics and Cooperation, Dr. Ernie Hendrawati. The Honorable Coordinator of International Office, Mr. Muji Rahmat Ramlan, MBA. And also the Secretary of International Office, Mrs. Sari Indah Oktanti, MS Akar. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining this Zoom meeting to have more discussion regarding the visiting professor program by Dr. Abdul Rahim that will be held during 6 months since 14 September 2020 until 14 March 2021. Okay, well, without further ado, go ahead to the next agenda. I will invite the moderator today to start the discussion this morning. So, Mrs. Sari Indah, you are pleased.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Pardon for the Mr. Dean, Mr. Nairobi, and Mrs. Erni Hendrawati, and also Mr. Muji Rahmat Ramalan. To start our meeting today, in accordance with the visiting professor of Dr. Abdul Rahim. Okay, today agenda, we will maybe discuss about the schedule, what classes you will be holding in the Faculty of Economic and Business for the students and the lecturers, and then and also for the research and community service collaboration we can conduct with the, Mr. Abdul Rahim, also maybe with the University of Technology Mara. Okay. First of all, we will discuss about the schedule first, maybe, Mr. Okay. As we seen before that, wait.
Mrs. Hari.
Yes.
Before we discuss about the schedule,
yes, Miss.
It had better we introduce our faculty first to Mr. Rahim.
Okay.
Yeah. To know more about the strength, weakness, and opportunity about our faculty, that maybe by doing the visiting professor, the programs can improve our quality of faculty. Can I start now?
Yes, Miss. You can.
Thank you. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Rizwan. Actually, I want to excuse about our dean. Actually, he will join the meeting maybe 1 hour later. Because now he is doing some examination for doctoral program. Maybe 1 hour or 30 minutes later, he can join this meeting. First of all, I would like to thank to Mr. Rizwan that give our faculty the opportunity to get sharing knowledge and general lecturing to our faculty. And for you to know that our faculty has been, the age is about 55 years old. Actually, our faculty found on 1965. So it has been 55 years. And in September 23rd, we will anniversary. And the other information that our faculty had 3 departments: management, and then accounting, and also economics. And we also had 11 programs that from diploma level, and also magister level, bachelor level, and doctoral level. So the total number of our program is 11. Mostly our program has get national accreditation from our nation, that get the A ranking. So it is the highest ranking from national accreditation. And also our programs, all of our programs get the international accreditation from ABES 21. Have you heard about ABES 21?
No. It's is it international recognition?
It is international, but more in regional accreditation for Asia Pacific.
That's good.
And UTM, one of the university that get the ABES 21 accreditation also.
I see. I think I heard it somewhere. Maybe I read something about that before.
Besides accreditation, we also get certification from ISO
very good.
2001-2015. So all of the accreditation and certification can show you and make sure about the process that we have done actually had followed accreditation and certification standard. But beside our best part of our accreditation and certification, we also still has some limitation or weakness. Yeah, it is also based on the internal audit that we done regularly every year from our team, that in our faculty still lack of publication.
Okay.
So the number of citation is very, very low.
All right.
Yeah, and then we also have a problem with patent. Yeah, number of patent is still limited number, yeah, or not available.
Okay.
And then we get the target from the university or from ministry that we have to process our student and get, after they graduate from our faculty, they can get job less than 6 months. So this is the target from our ministry about the outcome of our faculty.
Yeah.
And the others is about apa ya? The others, yeah, more or less the problem is still surround this problem, yeah, publication, citation, yeah, and also the other thing is about number of foreign students.
Oh, number of foreign students.
Currently, we just only 2 students from another country, from Egypt, and the other from Palestine. So our target is can improve our international office to do some international collaboration, and also how to get the foreign student and how to improve our international class,
yeah,
to be better and also more lebih siap ya, get ready to receive many kerjasama itu, many cooperation with other university. Yeah, we already try with one of university in Tokyo. The name is Aoyama Gakuin University. Regularly, we send our student international to sit in about 2 weeks, yeah, in their faculty.
I see.
But yeah, but it's too short, yeah, I think, to get transfer knowledge and also to feel about the cultural cultural situasi budaya di sana. Jadi too short, I think. So we hope that we can transfer credit from other university. It is our expectation our faculty can do some kind of collaboration like that. Not only just sit in only short time, yeah, and we only get a little bit knowledge and experience. So hopefully through this program for visiting professor,
the voice is missing.
Our student of the quality. That's we hope that Mr. Ridwan can transfer knowledge and experience to
Inshallah
our faculty and also our lecturer to improve the quality of faculty and to to mengurangi kelemahan. Yeah.
Yeah. To reduce, it's okay.
Yeah. So Mrs. Sari will continue the discussion about the schedule.
All right.
So for the general instruction, that maybe we'll focus first is about course lecturing, and then the second is general lecturing for all of the students, and then also about webinar to our student. And for lecturer, maybe we can we do some sharing session and also webinar. in order to improve the publication, citation, etc. Yeah, and also there are 2 or 3 sessions with the international office staff how to improve the international class in order to get the new student, foreign student, and also the quality of programs. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. All right.
Maybe. Maybe it's enough for me. Thank you very much, Mr. Sari.
Thank you, Doctor.
You can continue the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Mr. Sari, we can give Ms. Rizwan the short speech about this program.
Later on you can pass it later on.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Erni Hendrawati, for the short introduction about the Faculty of Economic and Business, University of Lampung. We will continue now with maybe some introduction about UITM and what kind of program Mr. Abdul Rahim might want to conduct with us, and what other things we can do for the cooperation in the future and now. Time and place for you, Mr.
Ya, Dekan. Assalamualaikum. The sound is missing. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the sound is missing. Okay, right.
Oh no. Saya share nggak deh? Meja ada deh. Dia lagi nyari. Oh ya. While waiting your presentation, maybe Mr. Rizwan.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is information from our Vice Dean of Finance that our faculty allocate some funding based on term based on term of reference. Yeah. So actually for the webinar, maybe there is no allocation, but there is some allocation for the activity, like fee for the lecturer for this event.
Now you want me to present my suggestion, right, Doctor Erni?
Yeah. Yeah.
You want me to present my suggestions of the list of webinar and so on?
Yeah. Review. Right. What is your suggestion based on our strength and weakness that I already told you about our faculty?
Okay, I share my screen right now. basically it's the same, the one that I have showed it to you before, but of course this thing can be adjusted later on. So thank you very much to everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm very honored to be invited as your visiting scholar in your universitas. Actually, this is like my third experience. Last year, I've been invited as visiting scholar at Trakya University in Turkey for 2 weeks, and then I have a chance to also share my experience. So yeah, due to all this experience that I gathered, I learned that there are so many ways to share to lecturers and students, and of course from this journey I also learned something. Okay, basically I think this is already been seen by all of you, but okay, I will share with you what is my expertise, and of course for your information, during the last 6 months of the COVID, since February, because in Malaysia we have actually changed to ODL, open distance learning, or normal classroom is all online. So due to that transition, I have offered myself to give webinar to all my friends, lecturers across the IPTA, the public university and the private university. So actually, during that past 6 months, I've been invited like on writing, gaining the grants. I also share about research visibility. I also share about technical part of analysis for economics. So that's why one of the reasons why from the experience I gathered, I have that confidence that I think I can share to someone or to the university outside Malaysia. So actually, I'm so grateful for your convince of my proposal when I proposed myself. Okay, so from what I have listened to you just now, from what you have described, the things that we want to tackle here is about maybe in terms of the publication in index journal among the docent, right, among the lecturers. I believe that I think that courses should be made. We can make it several times because we have long 6 months. Maybe my suggestion is that the course section by section. Like we start with introduction, and I will explain to you how to write the introduction, and then this section is based on the components of the article, and then how to write the literature review, and then how to write the methodology, the result and discussion, and then the policy and recommendation. By the end of the course, perhaps the webinar, I can share with you all the list of journals, corpus index journals, those that easy, those who are not that easy, those who involve a bit cost money. If you already have the budget for that, it will be very good. Okay, but if you look for a free one, yes, there's a lot, but it is time consuming. So basically, I think that will be one of my main agenda, to contribute my expertise to the docent. Besides docent, I can also share these courses to the Pasca Siswaza, to master and PhD student, because I think they also need to learn how to write and publish the paper in the good journal. So I think that can be made into a So
there is a series of meetings related with the publication,
publication is a course of writing until sending to the journal. So because we want to see the output, I don't want like I'm given a lot of talks, but at the end I didn't see the output. So I hope that those who attend my webinar, I will closely monitor. Of course, the docent, even the student, they freely WhatsApp me anytime if they have any question or any problems about their writings. But one thing that I want to,
How many sessions?
I think that one we should make it into 4 to 5 sessions. Writing until publish, until publish, 4 to 5 sessions. As I said, we have ample of time, so I really want to make it into more individual session, we don't have to make it very long, like 2 hours. Maybe 1 hour is enough because it is a courses, right? So I think 1 hour session is enough for every session for this writing seminar. So then it will be much more focused, and yeah, that in that way I can also learn about the docent writing, what are their topics, and maybe there will be parts that they have to share their progress. I hope if they can make it, like their progress. But this will be this will be a bit long. I believe this will take a bit long time, maybe perhaps 3 months, because I don't want to pressure the lecturer, the docent, to finish the writing of one article in very short time. But within 3 months of these courses, I hope that at the end of the 3 months, there's an output from the writing, at least like 12 pages or 30 pages of empirical paper that we are readily submitted to the journals that maybe we can look together later on. So that is, I think, one of the things which I believe I can contribute a lot, because I have a bit here and
okay.
The tricks of publication. I've been reviewed a lot of good journals in that journal, so yeah, I can actually share my experience as the reviewer of the journals, the paper, what we are looking for from the paper, and so on. The issue is that is your docent able to write it in English? That's one thing, because sometimes when I the language barrier is one thing lah, I think, for the lecturers to, yeah, that's why if we cannot produce a very good grammatical paper, we need to ask professional service to proofread the paper later on. So that thing will be discussed further when the paper is ready. So I think that will be my among my biggest agenda. Okay, the rest actually is much more, yeah, I have to tell you about my strengths, because I don't want you all have too high expectation of me. For information analysis. As economics, I'm focused more on secondary data analysis. I have actually very less experience in doing primary data analysis like SPSS, all those things. But of course, if you need an SPSS courses, I can actually invite my brother, Dr. Abdul Rauf Rizwan from Mass Communication, to have a slot with the docent to share about the basis of doing research using SPSS, for example. So that one can be arranged. I think that will be no problem. But my strengths, as I stated in this form, as you see, for the secondary data analysis, usually for time series, the most common techniques that even me myself have published a lot in Scopus Journal is bound test or RRDL. So if there are lots of economists in your faculty that learn econometrics, that know a bit about time series analysis, I would suggest to you can publish a lot of Scopus in that journal, which has happened to me. By mastering, and this is not that hard. I even touch my undergraduate student to teach this method using EVU-NICE or EVU-TEST, and they can master it, and even they can also publish in a good journal from their by mastering the skills. So that's why time series mastering bound test analysis. Usually I give these courses for 1 day from 8 to 5, but I don't want to make it like that, because this is online. I think it's a bit tougher to have a long series of talk like that. We have to make it into several because they involve with a lot of analysis. So I can make it into like maybe at least 3 sessions based on these techniques. So I will separate into different methods, and then I will show it how to use the EVUs, for example, how to click here, how to explain. So it will be how to, of course, later on, I will also provide my data, so everyone will use the same data. And later on, we will have like a session where the docent can use their own data, and maybe perhaps I can have like personal consultation with this docent if they really need some kind of help in terms of how to run the analysis, the data, based on the data that they have collected, the models of economy that they have suggest to do for their paper, something like that. So beside the the seminar, we will have like a session where I have the consultation for any lecturers. We will provide one session where I will free myself. I just wait from any SMS or WhatsApp from any docent or for Siswaza who really wish to have one by one like consultation with me to learn the technique and so on. And yeah, and then the first part, PhD preparation. Yeah, I also have a lot of experience. Not really a lot. I think I have preparation. Like for the student, what are the things that they need to do before study and then during the study time. And for information, I managed to finish my PhD within 5 semesters, 2 years and a half, and I received GOT, Credit on Time Award, where by this award I received 20,000 ringgit from my university in the forms of research grant, which is very flexible for me. And from my paper of my PhD, I've been invited to share my finding at Oxford University as a keynote speaker to share about my thesis. So basically, I can also give a talk about preparations of PhD journey for the PhD student, and do and don'ts, and what you can do besides writing a thesis, because you are not just focused on thesis writing. By being a PhD student, you actually need to venture yourself with many other activities. Like in Malaysia, we have 3-minute thesis competition, which is we follow from Australia. I'm not sure if Indonesia 3 minutes only, like TED Talk, giving a talk in front of all the judges with 1 or 2 slides. So that is very good. It will show how much your understandings of your research by summarizing it only in 3 minutes. So it is very popular in Malaysia. We have until national level, which is competed across all the public and private universities. And there will be a champion there. I myself received 2nd place in my place of doing my PhD in UC Science Malaysia, 2nd place for my 3-minute question. And then how to convert from thesis writing or final year project paper student into a research journal. Like in my case, when I visit Universitas Airlangga, I have I have attending their final year project paper presentations. I've been invited by PM Dr. Rosanto, where I basically in that session, I have degree programs. Okay. And then, of course, based on the selected papers, I actually revised it. I have to refine it, and I put it my name as the last author, of course, and then I will submit it to the index journal. But in Malaysia, we have 3, Scopus, ISI, and ERA, but I don't think ERA is recognized in Indonesia. But I asked permission to my colleague there, PM Dr. Rosanto, to publish in ERA, because that is the quantity of the student that they managed to publish. It is not up to the Scopus level yet, because there are some here and there weaknesses. But of course, I have tried my best to refine it. So at least the final year project paper student is changed into a journal article, published in the journal. So actually, that is my intention to help in that way. So maybe we can have that kind of session as well for FYP student. The language, but as I said, if we have the budget, we can recruit a professional proofreader service. It might cost about 200 to 300 ringgit per paper to translate into in English, and then we can submit it to the journal, maybe to Scopus in that journal or something like that, so that you can increase your KPI, the faculty, and so on. So that is another of my suggestions.
To English.
Yeah.
300 ringgit.
300 ringgit. That is actually the rate for about 10 pages, something like that, 10 to 12 pages of standard. You can change it to English from, but of course, it is not easy to find because I'm talking about bahasa Malaysia to bahasa Inggeris in Malaysia. So for bahasa Indonesia to bahasa Malaysia, I'm not really sure yet in terms of in Malaysia, is there any people can offer that service? Maybe you can find someone in your faculty or some lecturers, English lecturers. Has suggested the strategy for graduate on time is GOT is it the policy of GOT existed in Indonesia? Like you have to finish your study in 3 years because you are a scholarship student. Is it existed in Indonesia? Graduate on time for PhD, master student.
We had regulation from our ministry and also our faculty. Maximum is
48 hours. 48 hours.
Length of study 5 years.
I see.
Special program like GOT is we only heard from UITM about graduate on time, but our faculty just try to arrange the curriculum that in order to graduate on time, but not special programs or special treatment.
I see. Okay, so basically when we talk about graduate on time, it's actually much more on strategies to be more disciplined, how to make it is something that we Ministry of Education because they give the scholarship for only 3 years maximum, and then after that you have to come back and then you have to work at the same time finish your study. So that's why some really want to finish their study before going back to work, because they don't want to mix the job, right? So when I introduce these courses, basically it's much more on the strategies, like what you need to do, the relationship between you and supervisor, how you deal with the data, and so on. So it's something like more preparation on the PhD journey. So
it is more arranged by the institution or by the student itself that to get the graduate on time.
Actually, it depends on the student, and at the end, it is based on the student effort. And of course, there are so many factors that can affect the journey.
Yeah. Because our lecturer that currently studying in UITM, they follow graduate on time program from UITM.
I see. Okay. All right.
There is a institution system that arrange the student to be graduate on time, not only the student himself.
So through this kind of system, the supervisor will need to be very what we call it, they have to monitor the student progress, which means that the supervisor itself need to be very responsible. They cannot let go the student alone like that. They have to see the progress and meet the target together. So this is like two mutual cooperation between the student and the supervisor through that kind of programs. And then the rest, I think I have to mention strategies to publish in Index Journal. This is also another course which is about 2 hours. This is quite long because there are so many things there that I wanted to share about. This I will begin from the basic. Actually, I will introduce back the Index Journal, ISI, Scopus, where you can find this journal. So maybe by introducing the basic, the fundamental, it will help those docents to understand further about the you should look for, how to read the impact factor. That all is the things that you need to know as the academics. Okay. So and then research gap and identifications of issue. It is actually a seminar for PhD student or master student. Because usually students, master or PhD student, they find difficulty to write a problem statement to identify the issue. That actually the reason why their study actually being prolonged so long, because they always somehow getting lost. They don't know how to interpret from issue into the research objective, for example, or how from issue become the problem statement. So this is another of my things that I can share. It's a one hour session only that maybe I can offer to even to the docent who are doing PhD, part-time PhD. And then strategy to win gold medal in innovation competition. I learned that in Indonesia, like from my friends from Airlangga, they said that innovation competition is
it is
by ministry, right?
innovation competition, they also is kind of something that can be get the patent, yeah.
Yeah, basically this kind of innovation competition is already become a norm in Malaysia. Almost every university will organize their own innovation competition. Then we put it international so we can invite everyone, and it is good sources of income generation. Okay, because especially during this COVID time, everyone is using digital. You just upload your work. There will be a digital evaluation from the judge, and then you can announce it using YouTube streaming and so on. So last time I proposed this idea to Airlangga Universitas. I said that there is need for any university in Indonesia to begin first, to be the anchor to organize the innovation competition, because in Malaysia it's become norm already. Now Indonesia should start, because this is a very good platform for you to, I mean, of course I heard that there's an innovation competition
digital,
the bigger from the university, I'm not sure, but something like that. So then if maybe in the future I can propose like a collaboration of doing the innovation competition between UiTM Malacca and Lampung, co-organized together, partnership. We make it into digital as well because of COVID. So maybe I can start with paperwork first to propose, because I believe that this is not really that cost much money, because you don't really have to need to have borrow a facility and so on, like day one and so on, right? Because it's all digital, right? So maybe we can I will propose it to my rector, so that we have already a specialized team that that organize innovation competition in Malacca. So maybe there will be an exchange of knowledge on how to organize. Later on, you can organize your own innovation competition, what you need to do. So of course, we will invite you as the committee together. We did. I didn't remove the poster. Last month we have international summer school with BINUS Universitas, between BINUS and UiTM Malacca for 2 weeks. And every day there's a program. There's a talk for the student. There's a tournament, business plan competition. Because the agenda of entrepreneurship is very, very, very important in UiTM, because UiTM is a large university. We have the highest numbers of students, 200,000 students. So of course, we cannot rely on the government for the job opportunity. So the agenda of entrepreneurship is one of the main thing in our university. So then of course, there's a lots of programs that involve with entrepreneurship, skills and business plan, writing and so on. So that's what we do. What we did with BINUS last time. We involved these two together. The summer school between the two universities and university. Maybe that will be further discussed. This is just the general idea, okay? And then the importance of research that nowadays there are more and more participants from Indonesia that join our innovation competition in Malaysia. There's a rising numbers of Indonesian participants, and even they are coming to the tournament. They come with all the students from secondary level and so on. The lecturers, they are really supporting the events. So of course, I want to introduce this webinar to the docent. Why? Because I create another strategies. Because when we talk about innovation competition, we always talk about a tangible product, like those mechanical products, something that we can see, we can touch. But in my case, based on my record, I managed to earn several gold medals and special award based on research paper. How a research paper can be a good product and win those awards and so on. So that's why I actually sharing my expertise on strategies to win gold medal based on research paper.
Because our faculty members still confused about because our product is kind of model.
Yeah, correct. We have the econometric model, right?
Yeah, so it is still confused. Is that can be patent or get the haki? In our country, the name of intellectual right is haki.
Oh, IP, intellectual property.
About your experience that you have done in Malaysia on we know how to transfer this experience to our faculty.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's something that I can share with you, because we also need to register that that copyright when we have developed our own model, econometric model. Okay, you don't feel, you don't think that I actually create a new formula. No, it's not up to that point. Okay, we just apply the models based on the scenarios of our subject, like Malaysia or something like that, based on our issues. What kinds of variable that we introduce on the purpose, but the policy that we introduce from the outcome, that is actually the product from the policy, from the paper. So how we suggest, and of course there are extra steps for you to get recognition from the judge. For my case, when I have proposed, before I joined the innovation competition, basically I volunteer myself to share my finding to the real officer that, for example, in Kementerian Perdagangan Antarabangsa and Industry in Kuala Lumpur, all these people who involved with ASEAN, NAFTA. So basically my research is about international economics. So when I bring my student for academic visit, basically I also present my finding, my research paper to them, so that they will be like, at least there are real policymakers that learn about the real policy from us, from me, from the academics. So that's actually what the things I done. So when I got the letters of appreciation, that is something that I use for my innovation competition, a recognized. If you want to win gold medal, something like that. Okay. And how to choose the right conference? This is, I think, not that so important. I think this is, maybe we can talk in within any other courses here. Okay, and then maybe you can combine these two together, choosing the right conference as well as picking the right journal and successful submission process. Because nowadays there are so lots of conference, there are predatory types of conference, there are free types of conference, how to search for the free conference with travel grant, and all this involve with skills. Of course, I'm not saying that I'm very good in searching a free types of conference that offer free journal, index journal, but I do have some experience receiving travel grants, being invited in Korea to present my thesis finding using their grant and so on. So maybe there's something that I can share. This can make it into 1 hour session. And of course, the last one, the PhD and master clinic. This is something to do with the consultation, that I can make it 1 slot. And I need to talk about their problems in writing and so on, they can have a session with me. So this is among the webinar. I believe that there are others that we can discuss. For information, all the slide is in English, but I will explain it in Bahasa Malaysia or English, it depends. Because I also have to ensure that people understand what I try to share, right? So it's just that I cannot change it to Bahasa Malaysia. It's all in English. And for the classes, basically, because now all this is online basis, I try to avoid subject that involve with heavy calculation. Okay, I much more prefer subject which actually more on theory part of the subject, the economics. Because if it is involved with calculation, there will be more preparation that I need to do. Like I have to prepare the whiteboard, explain, and then yeah, maybe we can do it. I can do it, but if based on my condition and so on, subject. The theory part of the subject is the one that I really prefer to, instead of the mathematical part, the calculation part. So it can be any subject. You can offer it, you can suggest to me, and inshallah I can deliver it. So the suggestions of ours, for information, my classes will start on in the middle of October, and perhaps my ATA will be about 12 hours a week. And I will free on in Tuesday. I asked my rector already to free my class on Tuesday, and we are also still conducting online until end of this year. So that's why there's always a room for adjustment. That's why I can, if there is a clash between my class and your suggestion of your class, basically I can arrange my class later on. There's no problem for me. So I will look into your timetable first, and I will arrange it to.
Okay, yeah.
First, minimum 4 hours, maximum a week.
A week, yeah.
Yeah, a week. 2 hours to 4 hours maximum. Yeah.
So for 4 hours is a day, or it's
you can separate into different as long as it's 4 hours. Yeah, any days, and then it's not clash with my class.
So there is another day beside Tuesday, yeah?
Yeah, you can actually, as I said, Tuesday is the day that I'm free, but
Yeah.
you can also decide on other day. I will change. I will make it according to my own timetable, because I have no problem with dealing with my student in changing the slot. Yeah.
So it is.
So it will depend on you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So
yeah,
it's more
welcome.
maybe Mrs. Sari and Mrs. Suri, also Mr. Muji can get the general general techniques, yeah, for this event. So Mr. Rizwan prefer to do on Tuesday, and maximum a week is only 4 hours. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I think that is sufficient for 4 hours. Yeah, maximum. I'm sorry, I need to.
So it is okay if we do on Tuesday and the number of hours is 4 hours. Also, it is.
As I mentioned, sometimes you can make it into 2-hour session, 2-hour session, or maybe 2 hours, 1 hour, and 1 hour session. It's really depend on your own yeah. As myself, I am very flexible. I try to cope with whatever timetable that you given to me. That is my job.
Yeah. Okay, Suri and Mrs. Sari, you get the point?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mr. Rizwan,
yeah.
In my opinion, that for the subject or courses lecturing, I prefer to teach for bachelor students from international class.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right. Okay.
But maybe 1 or 2 sessions for the regular class.
Okay, all right.
And the others lecturing for the postgraduate students.
Oh, okay, I see. Does it?
So more is I will focus on international students.
I see. And do I have to? Is it I have to teach them for 1 semester this class, the whole semester, or is just being invited here and there and here?
Only some of the session, I think.
Some of the session. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Then that's better because I don't want to take all over the class. It will be a bit. Yeah. Because
read about your CV that you teach micro, macro, so it is suitable from the student from the first semester.
Yeah.
Maybe I will allocate you to teach courses from micro or macroeconomics, yeah. And maybe we can discuss it by WhatsApp about the detail of the course.
Yeah.
Ya, Mrs. Sari atau Sari bisa sampaikan apa yang ada di perencanaan kita sebelumnya. Kok dimulai?
How to make it bigger back? I don't know how to.
So wait.
I want to stop my slide sharing, but I don't know how to do it. Suddenly, yeah. How to clear it? Stop my sharing slide.
You just close from the folder.
You can click from the upper side, sir. You
this
can
one?
click from the upper side. There is the green screen sharing. You can stop sharing from there, sir.
Because I didn't see. Oh yeah, here. Yeah. Okay.
So in our meeting, there is Mr. Muji. Maybe Mr. Muji can share some information, maybe.
Yeah.
Mr. Muji.
Yes. Hello, can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, hello, Pak Abdul. How are you?
Yeah, fine. I'm fine. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Muji. Actually, I'm a lecturer in management department. As a coordinator of international office. So I would like to thank you for your ability to become our visiting professor for this semester.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
As you mentioned before that you prefer it on Tuesday and at least maximum at 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Sari, can you make sure that you write that down as a note? Hello, Sari. Sari.
Yeah.
You there?
Yes, I already write down that, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Abdul is free on Tuesday, but he has a flexible schedule if we have something.
Yeah.
And maximum for 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
As we mentioned by Bu Erni that well, we still adjusting our we're not adjusting our class. We have similar class like last semester, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I think like what you said is also happening in our faculty in Indonesia. We're shifting all of our classes to what we call pendidikan jarak jauh, online learning. It is effectively happening in this semester. So in the term of the day of the class is going to be I think it's going to be not like in the schedule.
All right.
Because using the we are not university or faculty. We are not faculty that have a habit to do online learning.
I see.
So usually class.
All right.
So among 16 meetings in the class, we only use probably 2 or 3 times online meeting. So in this semester, we use full-time online meeting. So there's going to be
blended learning.
I want to say a chaos at the first because the day and the time is going to be difficult for each of the professors. So we'll try to if we try to put everything on Tuesday. We will try to do that, but I don't think it's going to be easy for us.
Yeah, I understand. That's why, I'm saying I'm very flexible. Try my best to match with your timetable.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And as being mentioned by Bu Erni, so we have a diploma student and we have a bachelor and master program. So for that doctoral program, Sari, I don't know, is there any participation activity in doctoral program?
Yes, sir. Yeah, there will be for the master and the doctoral program.
Okay, so doctor and master, and as being mentioned by Bu Erni, that for the bachelor, I think we're going to focus on international class. Yeah, especially that in line with your background. That will be in line with your background. So we will coordinate with each of the professors who teach on the bachelor class, and somehow there will be a pre-discussion first with you regarding the topics and probably the time and others. Maybe I think we're going to start somewhere in the middle of October.
All right. Okay.
In the middle of October. Because this semester will start on 28th September. So
I see. Okay.
Much time to arrange somewhere before the mid of the October.
Okay.
Pardon, Mr. Smuji.
Yes.
But for the lecturer, maybe we can start at the middle of this September.
Yeah.
For the lecturer.
Oh, okay. For the lecturer class. Yes. So yeah, I believe. I believe 100% of this activity will be conducted through Zoom. Or do you prefer any methods?
Actually, Zoom and WebEx is fine. Both. And then another one is Microsoft Teams, but I usually use Zoom because it's the most easiest one. At the moment, I'm using Zoom frequently.
Okay, so we're going to use Zoom for the tools.
Yeah.
Well, Sari, do you have any other things that to be mentioned?
No, maybe just in accordance with the schedule about the lecturer.
Yeah.
Okay. We have some. We have some SEM or some session we want to help for the lecturer, and remembering that you only have 4 hours a week, and we actually wanted to help about 5 or 6 meetings for the lecturer. So maybe is it possible for a week to have 3 classes for a lecturer?
For lecturers, I see.
Yeah.
I think I don't. Yeah, I don't have any much to say right now because I myself didn't receive my own timetable yet because my class start on middle of October. But because my ATA is just 12 hours class, maybe three class. So I don't think it's somehow a problem to me because maybe there's a slot because another one is because it's ODL. And in my case in Malaysia, if the subject is theory, we can combine the class. We don't have necessary to do it one by one because it's a theory subject. But if calculation, maybe perhaps we can have to make it into a separate class. So that's why I say I'm very flexible due to ODL, due to this online thing. So no problem if you have.
Yeah, because we plan to hold the classes for the lecturer before the student class starts. So when the regular class starts, we are already finished with the lecturer classes.
Yeah.
So the lecturer can focus for studying, for teaching. I mean.
Okay.
Sari.
Yes, sir.
Pak Abdul, Dr. Abdul, so I think what Sari write here is our proposed draft, before we have this discussion. So I think we're going to change about the duration of time, and the number of the classes in a week. I just wondering from Monday to Friday. So do you prefer Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday? I mean, about the activity, the day of activity. Hello?
Yeah, I think, yeah, you can. In my case, since you stated that from 10 to 12 in Malaysia, perhaps it's 12 is 1 o'clock. It's very close to Solat Jumaat already. So maybe have to adjust a bit. Yeah, it's very close to Solat Jumaat. So yeah, because we have one hour gap, right? Malaysia is 1 hour early.
Yeah. So, Sari, can you write down that?
For Friday class, yeah, maybe you can start earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe about the detail of the courses and topics and also the schedule. Will our international office in our faculty will be do a meeting first, and then that will be shared to you.
Yeah.
Just with your situation and condition.
Yeah. All right. Sure.
And I believe Bernie, please. Yeah, Bernie. Yeah. Just a reminder. I believe either Malaysia or Indonesia have holiday during this month, so I think we need to put those holiday into the schedule too.
Yeah, some holiday. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay, Sari, do you want to add something else?
Okay, I think for me it's enough just about the schedule. Maybe we can discuss it first with the Vice Dean of Academic, with Mrs. Ernie, and Mrs. Ernie will contact again with Mr. Abdul.
Yeah.
And about the schedule, and then as about like you said that some maybe we can discuss it in one class. So we will see what we can do for about the schedule for the lecturer.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I think from me that's enough.
Yeah.
And as for the holiday, I see in the calendar, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't think we have any more holidays for this month, or maybe for the October. But I think that won't disturb with the lecturer classes. But maybe for the regular classes for the students of the bachelor and the postgraduate student.
Okay, so we don't have any holiday. So
yeah,
too bad.
Unfortunately, until we finish the discussion, our dean still not arrived yet.
All right.
He regard you from menyampaikan salam ya.
Ya, salam.
This one, maybe in another opportunity he can give regards to you and say hello to you and do a Zoom meeting with you.
All right, sure. Thank you very much.
Enough. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Suri will close the event. Okay, please, Suri.
Well, thank you for Mrs. Sari for being the moderator for today's session. And also thank you very much for Dr. Abdul Rahim Rizwan that has given your time to have our discussion today with us. We hope that our collaboration between our university could improve the quality of our lecturer and students. And thank you very much for Mrs. Ernie, Mrs. Agri, and then Mr. Muji for joining today's meeting. And we finish this meeting. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, jumpa lagi insyaAllah. Alright, welcome.
Bye.
Tari.
Ya, Bu.
Ya, nanti jangan di-post, kasihan juga tiap hari.
Jangan tiap hari loh, kita nyari mahasiswa.
Nyari peserta, kita pertimbangkan nyari pesertanya juga ya.
Untuk yang dosen loh, Bu. Untuk yang dosen, Bu.
Lebih susah lagi nyari.
Dosennya itu, nanti kita bikin poster-poster. Jadi kalau bisa in advance, kita kayak bikin daftar ya. Jadi dosen kan bisa dalam satu poster, tapi jadwal-jadwalnya sudah tertera, Zoom link-nya juga sudah ada. Jadi kita nggak berulang-ulang reminding kan ya. Kita dalam satu poster sudah terekam di situ. Mau saya begitu, kira-kira diatur jadwalnya, schedule-nya.
Berarti poster sama jadwal Zoom meeting-nya ya, Bu?
Ya, kayaknya jadwalnya nggak berubah ya. Kalau Zoom itu link-nya nggak berubah kan ya?
Oh, tapi biasanya Tapi kan tetap harus dibuat jadwalnya, Bu, maksud Sari, sama yang pengelola, sama host FEB-nya.
Kan jadwal, topik, kemudian link Zoom meeting-nya, itu in advance gitu kita buat. Tapi setelah diakses ke beliaunya juga. Cuma maksudnya juga dikasih jeda, jangan terlalu, kalau terlalu tiap hari boring juga nanti.
Iya, nanti jadi 6 bulan itu kita
ngos-ngosan.
Atau tiap
cuma sampai Desember loh. Kalau kita yang Januari sampai Maret kita kayak mana danainnya?
Ya, makanya itu kan enggak
Bu, Ibu mohon izin ngomong. Atau gini aja ya Bu, kan karena dia bilang kan 1 minggu 4 jam. Berarti 2 jam untuk kelas dosen, 2 jamnya mahasiswa setiap minggu.
Kita nggak capek nyari mahasiswanya ya.
Iya. Ya, jadi kan
kalau untuk mahasiswa itu kan mau di embedded sama mata kuliah, jadi itu baru dimulai di September nanti.
Iya, di Oktober Bu.
Di Oktober awal kan?
Iya.
Nah itu juga nanti koordinasi dulu dengan dosen pengampunya, PJ-nya, ya kan? Itu nanti bridging-nya dari internal office ya, menghubungkan jadwal dosen kita dengan dosen mereka dari Pak Rizwannya ya. Nah, untuk yang dosen ini diatur dalam tanggal hari ini sampai 14 September sampai ke depan, sampai akhir September ini dibuat alokasi Zoom meeting untuk dosen.
1 minggu 1 kali aja ya Bu?
Iya kayaknya lah.
Satu ya. Biar nggak bosan maksud Sari.
Ini juga nggak men-charge tertentu ya. Jadi kan
cuman kan maksimal 4 jam seminggu. Kan kata dia cuman maksimalnya 4 jam seminggu, nggak harus 4 jam.
Sambil kita lihat responnya dan juga demonya dalam beberapa kali pertemuan, nanti kita buat aja yang untuk sampai September ininya posternya, nanti yang Oktober kita buat lagi. Jadi bertahap, nggak usah langsung blok semuanya ya. Kita buat monthly aja sampai Desember.
Weekly ya Bu, weekly sampai Desember.
Sampai Desember. Tapi kita buatnya yang untuk September dulu aja ini sekarang ini.
Oh, posternya ya. Okay.
Posternya monthly basis aja, monthly basis.
Oke.
Biar juga bikin perencanaannya juga enak. Tapi yang tadi saran dia, yang series publication itu kan nggak mungkin 1 kali ya. Nanti seriesnya di Oktober, bisa dilanjutkan 2 series di Desember, 2 series di Oktober gitu loh. Nanti kita diskusiin bikin draftnya. Jangan lama-lama supaya tanggal 14 ke depan sudah bisa eksekusi gitu.
Ini udah tanggal 8 loh Bu. Ini yang buat poster Yandi ya?
Iya boleh.
Iya Yandi boleh. Uri udah bisa kok dia.
Amatir.
Apalah dari amatir jadi profesional ya. Ya oke, sementara mungkin begitu.
Fixin jadwal dulu berarti ya,
yang cukup sampai 20 tapi ada sesi yang kita break juga loh. Penerimaan mahasiswa baru itu break kita. Tapi nggak tahu kita break apa dosennya bisa terus.
Mungkin jadwalnya aja kali ya Bu. Nggak usah break kan karena kita juga seminggu sekali. Kan kita toh cuma seminggu sekali, penerimaan mahasiswa kan nggak tiap hari.
Ketika kita minggu di Propti mahasiswa, ada di minggu tertentu yang di 2 kaliin gitu. Jadi yang penting jadi tetap berapa kali tuh? Tetap
ada 10 kali dosen. Dosen tuh ada 10 kali sesi Bu di jadwal
itu. Sebelah nanti kira-kira kebutuhannya ya.
Jadi jangan sampai Maret. Jadi kita Maret enggak tercover. Jadi kita di muka, semuanya dibayar di muka aja. Jadi Desember sudah selesai. Karena dia sekali datang 1.700.000, sebenarnya mabok nanti dia nggak diizinkan ini di anggarannya 68 juta pokoknya dia dapat semuanya.
Yang namanya
dipadatin sampai Desember ya Bu ya.
Atau kalau dari sisi akademik, karena kan dia bersedia dikontrak sampai Maret, ya kita situnya nggak berbayar yang sampai kita volunteer.
Ya nggak volunteer, jadi kita lamsam loh, kita bayar dia lamsam.
Iya. Yang penting itu cuma yang formalinya sampai Desember, tapi realisasinya kan nambah-nambah nggak apa-apa, tapi yang penting dia sudah terima uangnya kalau kegiatan sampai di Desember gitu. Iya, Sari ya.
Oke, Mbak.
Asap ya.
Iya, Bu.
Kalau misalnya kita mau ketemuan nanti kabarin ya. Oh iya, jam 10:30 ini ya, Mbak ya?
Hah?
10:30 ini kan ya, tesnya ya?
Online ya?
11:30.
Sari di kantor ini ya?
Iya, Bu, di E.
Iya. Oke. Udah ya?
Ke ruang PJM ya, Mbak ya? Kita ketemu di sana.
Makasih ya.
Sama-sama, Bu.
Anaknya Pak Ambia. Mau pindah dari internasional.
Mau dari Mandiri mau ke internasional. Oh.
Tapi dia udah bersedia UKT tertinggi apa itu?
Beneran?
Udah.
Dengan senang hati.